After nearly 2 decades of construction, the USS Gerald Ford has established itself as the world's most advanced battleship. But the U.S. Navy isn't stopping there. It is about to launch a new carrier of the same class, bound toward the disputed waters of the South China Sea. How close is its debut, and what are the Navy's next-generation carrier plans? Let us find out. Huntington Ingalls, industry's Newport News shipbuilding division, is building the Gerald R. Ford class of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers for the U.S. Navy as part of the CVN-21 aircraft carrier program. New classes of carriers will eventually replace all Nimitz-class flat tops. According to the U.S. Navy, the Gerald R. Ford class will be the leading forward asset for crisis response. He demonstrated early and decisive striking power in a major war operation. In total, the Navy intends to purchase 10 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers from the Ford class, with the first 4 being the USS Gerald R. Ford, USS John F. Kennedy, USS Enterprise, and USS Doris Miller. The U.S. Navy received the CVN-78 in May 2017 and commissioned it in July 2017. The aircraft carrier underwent a multi-week final deployment composite training unit exercise in April 2023 to receive certification as a combat deployable U.S. warship. After more than 50 years of active duty, the USS Enterprise CVN-65 retired, and the ship took its place. Newport News Shipbuilding constructed the Gerald R. Ford, which measures 1,092 feet in length. It boasts a 134-foot beam and a flight deck that is 256 feet wide. With a displacement of roughly 100,000 tons, the Ford class is larger than its predecessor, the Nimitz class, but can accommodate 500 to 900 fewer crew members. While larger than the Nimitz carriers, the CVN-78 can operate with fewer personnel due to a greater emphasis on automation. In addition, the carrier will notice a reduction in maintenance requirements and personnel workload. This will increase the crew's quality of life by providing nicer berthing compartments, larger gyms and fitness areas, and more ergonomic workstations. In total, the Ford-class ships will include 23 new or enhanced systems compared to the Nimitz-class carriers. When developing the Ford, Navy engineers chose to replace the traditional steam catapults found on Nimitz-class carriers with the new electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMALS. EMALS technology has the ability to improve aircraft acceleration control, resulting in lower stress levels in the aircraft and pilots, slower launch speeds for unmanned air vehicles, and a broader window of wind over deck speed required for the launch sequence. With this new technology, the airline will be able to fly up to 160 flights per day, increasing to 220 flights per day under crisis conditions and severe air combat activities. The ship can accommodate up to 90 aircraft, including the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, FA-18EF Super Hornet, and E-2D Advanced Hawkeye. We have EA-18G Growler electronic attack aircraft, MH-60 RS helicopters, and unmanned aerial vehicles. The Ford additionally comes with advanced arrestor gear, AAG. The electromagnetic motor controls the synthetic arrestor cable to limit its maximum tension, and thus the peak strain on the arrestor hook and the airplane fuselage. Another distinguishing feature of the USS Gerald Ford is its 11 Advanced Weapons Elevators, AWES. These elevators can lift up to 24,000 pounds, considerably increasing the strike power of the carrier's air wing. According to Commander Richard Rosenbusch, Ford's assistant air officer, the AWES relieves flight deck operators of the added work of weapon preparation. The elevators enable the construction and arming of weaponry within the fuselage, followed by its lifting to the flight deck and subsequent affixation to the aircraft. Additionally, The Gerald Ford boasts two A-1B nuclear reactors that function as its own nuclear power plant. The A-1B produces 3 times as much power as the A-4W reactors used on modern Nimitz-class carriers. This will enable the Ford to reach speeds of up to 30 knots and operate autonomously without refueling for 20 to 25 years. The Ford-class ship architecture is also intended to accommodate future research and development of more advanced technology over the course of its 50-year service life. For example, the Office of Naval Research is testing 3 types of weaponry, including directed energy weapons, high-intensity lasers, and microwaves. The carrier will eventually deploy directed energy weapons. For comparison, the design and construction of the USS Gerald Ford cost Uncle Sam around $13.3 billion. The USS Ronald Reagan, the 9th Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, entered service at a cost of around $4.5 billion. The Gerald Ford returned to its home port of Norfolk, Virginia, in November 2022, having completed its inaugural voyage. During Ford's 53 days at sea in the Atlantic, the carrier covered roughly 9,275 nautical miles. We flew 1,250 sorties, delivered about 78 tons of ordnance, and made 13 ongoing replenishments. In addition, the Ford was dispatched to the eastern Mediterranean to be within striking distance of Israel beginning the day after the October 7th strikes. The carrier remained in the eastern Mediterranean while the warships proceeded to the Red Sea. They regularly intercepted incoming ballistic missiles and attacked drones launched from Houthi-controlled Yemen. After months of additional duty at sea to protect Israel, the USS Gerald R. Ford Aircraft Carrier Strike Group returned home in January 2024. However, this is only the first ship of the class. How about the others? Northrop Grumman received a contract in November 2006. The mission is to develop and design the second aircraft carrier, CVN-79. The U.S. Navy named the carrier the USS John F. Kennedy in May 2011. February 2011 saw the start of CVN-79's construction, and July 2015 saw the keel laid. In December 2019, they christened and launched the USS John F. Kennedy. However, like many of the U.S. Navy's planned projects, the service's next Ford-class aircraft carrier is facing delays. Initially, plans called for the second Ford-class aircraft carrier to be operational in 2022. However, delivery of the battleship could occur as early as 2025. Given their capabilities, the Ford-class ships will serve the Navy at sea. The prompt arrival of the USS John F. Kennedy should be the service's top priority. According to the U.S. Naval Institute, the Navy delayed the ship's service to alter its post-shakedown availability and conduct additional work during construction. Initially, the Kennedy was incapable of fielding the Navy's latest strike fighter, the F-35C Lightning II. Because the Pentagon was investing billions of dollars in this new carrier, Congress asked that Kennedy be prepared to deploy the fifth-generation fighter. If an all-out fight with China occurs soon, the Ford class will play an important role in the Navy's war plan. Consequently, it would be absurd for the carrier to be unable to deploy the service's top-tier stealth fighter platform. Specifically, once operational, the Kennedy will join the Pacific Fleet to support the Navy's Indo-Pacific missions as tensions with China in the South China Sea rise. According to publicly available information, in November 2023, Captain Brian Metcalf, the Navy's program manager for the Ford-class aircraft carriers, stated that the Kennedy is 90% complete at HI's Newport News shipyard. Later, in February 2024, HII stated that its Newport News Shipbuilding Division, NNS, has begun topside testing of the emails on the aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy. The NNS team and the John F. Kennedy crew have begun dead load testing following the successful no-load testing of catapults 1 and 2, also known as the Bowcats. During this phase, the carrier launches enormous wheeled car-like objects weighing up to 80,000 pounds into the James River to simulate the weight of actual aircraft. The U.S. Navy then retrieves and relaunches them until the test procedure is complete, ensuring that the catapults are ready for their primary purpose of launching all carrier-based fixed-wing aircraft. We plan to deploy the next 2 Ford-class carriers, Enterprise CVN-80 and Doris Miller CVN-81, in 2028 and 2032, respectively. However, according to the Navy's fiscal year 2025 budget documents, the CVN-80, the ship, currently under construction at HYI's Newport News Shipbuilding in Virginia, is scheduled for delivery in September 2029, 18 months later than its initial delivery date of March 2028. According to the documents, the timeline modification is due to delays in material availability and industry supply chain performance. Anyway, we'll likely learn more about these 2 carriers, as well as the other 6 proposed ships in this class, later. However, given recent developments, the USS John F. Kennedy's launch date in 2025 appears to be extremely plausible. And what are your thoughts on this? Please share your ideas in the comments below. If you loved this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and enable alerts to stay in contact. Thank you for watching.